There was an Apple event this week, and I wasn't that excited because what, are they gonna announce a new iPhone? But instead, the base model gets a dynamic island. Wow. But my expectations were shattered when I clicked on the live event out of curiosity, only to see Octavia Spencer, or should I say, Ma. I didn't care what she was doing there, I just knew I was completely there for it. Come on Apple, what have you cooked up for us? Okay, the video starts in this depressing liminal space, which must be Apple's ginormous HQ. And Apple are so obsessed with minimalism that they forgot to put anything in the building. Like, you could put her in the back rooms and it would give the same kind of effect. Every day you go to work and like a hamster in a ball, Tim Cook just laughs at you as you have to walk around this entire spaceship to get to your desk. And let me guess, this was probably part of a healthy living initiative where Joe Biden was like, all your employees must get an hour of exercise in your workspace every day.
Sir, I think you just wet yourself. You're generating a puddle underneath your feet.
So Tim, Apple said,
well, if we make the building the size of a small city, they're gonna have to walk.
You know, I'm like 0 seconds into this video, but you know Tim Cook makes his employees cycle around the building. That's a millennial thing to do, right? Yeah, we kind of do it differently around here. Oh, you sit down at your desk. Yeah, we have standing desks and bean bags. Also, imagine if you're just casually walking along here, you look to your right and see this. Okay, I promise that's the last thing I'll point out in this frame.
Welcome to Apple, welcome to Apple. Hi, I'm
She should be here any minute.
How is the weather coming?
I really don't like how they present this as if it's a normal workspace. You've literally got the CEO of the wealthiest company on earth, like having a mental breakdown.
Welcome to Apple, welcome to Apple. Hi, I'm
She should be here.
I am Tim. Also sounding like Jennifer Coolidge, which is a bit weird. Everyone's dressed way too clean and the building looks like this. Also, it's a bit unsettling that every time I go into an Apple store, all the staff just look like these people in this room. They just clone normal looking people and ship them across the world, and all they do is change the accent a bit. In California, it's like, hi, how are you? But in London, it's like, hi, how can I help?
I hope we didn't keep you waiting.
Boom! Octavia Spencer, everyone, the last person you would expect to see at an iPhone charging port change reveal. Then all the light and glory that Octavia Spencer brings in is just shut down by
Mother Nature. Welcome to Apple. How is the weather getting in?
Mother Nature, welcome to Apple. How's the weather getting in? He's looking really, really tech company CEO. He doesn't want to be there, look at him. He'd rather be in the center of the ring, plugged into all of the solar panels around him, just absorbing those sweet rays. If you try and charge your phone in that building, it immediately sucks out all the power and Tim Cook absorbs it. But I wouldn't be too worried, it's just a tech CEO thing. They're all like that.
Are the allegations true that you are secretly a lizard? I'm gonna have to go with no.
One of my biggest gripes today is when people, films, and now entire companies feel the need to be self-aware to a painful degree. And not just self-aware, but force it down you. And we have to think that they're self-aware, otherwise we might be thinking that they're this $3 trillion company rather than a little stall that sell iPhone cases on the high street. And you know what really encapsulates it? It's this line here.
In 2020, you promised to bring Apple's entire carbon footprint to zero by 2030. Henry David Thoreau over here said we have a profound opportunity to build a more sustainable future for the planet we share.
I think our 10 o'clock said the same thing.
They all do.
Apple's like, hey kids, we're just like everyone else. However, as seen here, you can become so self-aware that you actually go the other way and become completely unaware. And thus, you become a fool. Because Apple are certainly not like everyone else. You know, it's not every day that a company values itself $3 trillion, right? Now this is where it really starts to get gritty.
This is my third corporate responsibility gig today, so who wants to disappoint me first?
And remember, Apple wrote this. This is not a parody or a sketch. Well, it is a sketch, but I don't want to give it that credit, so I'm going to call it a smetch. Now, I don't want to point out the obvious, but Mother Nature doesn't exist. Apple wrote this line to set the bar low.
So who wants to disappoint me first?
They just made her say that so that they can all prove her wrong, which makes Apple look better. They're using Mother Nature as a puppet to raise themselves above everyone else. Basically, this is just Apple talking to themselves and hyping themselves up without shame, which is really tacky. I can see straight through it. And you might be thinking, well, isn't that just what an advertisement is? A normal advertisement is like, Nesquik, Really tasty. Go buy Nesquik.
Well, we've got some updates we're excited to share with you.
Materials, status.
Is there a materials person here?
Yes.
Mother Nature is now in CEO mode. And Tim Cook is just a minion in the corner, just like he was in the Steve Jobs days. She is now berating everyone, tearing the house apart, demanding to see more environmentally positive changes.
We are in the process of eliminating all plastic from our packaging by the end.
Let me guess. 50 years from now when someone else is left holding the bag?
By the end of next year, actually.
Oh! Mic drop moment, everyone. Mic drop moment.
By the end of next year, actually.
Oh, but I hate that so much. They're all so smug with themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if the director made them go, don't forget that you're the ones who produced 23.2 million metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2021.
Yeah, I pretty much just owned Apple then.
Although the 10 tons of CO2 that you used to produce my iPad, I'll let that slide. And like I said before, this is not a documentary. Apple just created this imaginary situation to make themselves look good, but it's imaginary. So what does it prove? Imagine if VW did the exact same thing after their emissions scandal. It would come off so bad. But just because Apple's wrongdoings haven't been publicized into one juicy scandal, no one cares. You know what this Apple film's like? It's like how in Afterlife, Ricky Gervais writes the most idiotic and unrealistic scenes just to make himself look so epic, as if he wasn't at his laptop like.
I'm gonna make it so that I really aggressively shout at someone because they're chewing loudly.
Sorry, I can't concentrate with that. Why does he have to do all that?
I'm gonna call someone with glasses 4 eyes.
4 eyes. Go on.
If you're atheist,
I am.
and you don't believe in an afterlife,
I don't.
if you don't believe in heaven and hell and all that, why don't you just go around raping and murdering as much as you want?
I do.
What?
I do go around raping and murdering as much as I want, which is not at all.
That's what this Apple film is giving me. It's like the equivalent to winning arguments in the shower, but you actually pay people to act it out. Like Tim Cook was probably in the shower like,
what would happen if I got into a confrontation with Mother Nature?
So he spent millions of pounds and created this short film.
We're operating on 100% clean electricity.
What runs on 100% clean electricity?
Every Apple office, store, and data center runs on clean electricity, thanks to you and your powerful wind and sun.
Every office is powered by 100% clean electricity. What? That's insane. What is that, like 600 buildings that you have to power? Good for you? I mean, why are you putting it out there as if you're waiting for an applause? That is literally the least you could do. But compare their commitments to that of an entire country. About 60% of homes in the UK are powered by non-fossil fuel sources. And I imagine that's a whole lot more energy than you use to power your spaceship that can't even fly. So in the end, how do they want us to react?
Oh, good job, Apple. I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you. God bless you. This is really
beneficial to me. It's almost like they're gloating at this point. I do not care about their fake energy commitments. And the fact that they're making this whole film, which probably cost a lot to make, suggests that they're covering something up. Also, I never did a physics exam because they cancelled it, and so just don't all those numbers things, don't take it for facts. It might be facts. It might not also. Also, the overacting in this video is done to a toxic degree.
I'm proud to report that we're shipping more products by ocean.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, sir. I mean, ma'am. I'm a little nervous. I'm pretty much happy to announce that we're gonna cut all carbon emissions by next year.
Meanwhile, in the background, Tim Cook, the actual CEO, not an actor, is just nodding his head in the background.
By ocean rather than air, which reduces transportation emissions by 95%.
He couldn't be more proud of himself. And that's kind of sweet, to be honest. And at this point, I'm really confused. The line is blurred. Like, is he acting or is he just really into the scene?
I'm also happy to report that we're investing in projects around the world that protect the Earth's soil, plants, and trees.
Everyone says they're planting trees.
Oh, get ready. I can feel this is going to be good.
We've planted forests.
Oh, hello.
Where?
Paraguay, Brazil.
What, are you trying to save the tropical savanna?
Yes.
They planted forests. Dude, they planted forests. Apple planted forests. Also, you know, some Apple fanboy will do a TikTok edit with some horrible alpha music and the tackiest edits you've ever seen.
We've planted forests.
This is insane. Not only the fact that Apple wrote this whole exchange about themselves. But imagine the deep fear you would feel if Octavia Spencer looked at you like this.
Where?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. No, no, Darren, no, please, no, please.
And we've also restored mangroves in Colombia.
What else?
Grasslands in Kenya.
Why?
Our aim is to permanently remove carbon from the atmosphere.
No. Oh my goodness. I have to tell them. Dear Apple, in your recent promotional video you stated that you aim to permanently remove all carbon from our atmosphere. I would like to point out that this would end humanity and most life on Earth due to the extremely cold temperatures. Thank you. By the way, I love the iPad Pro. Yeah, I thought that was worth them knowing. Then as the meeting is just about done, whoever wrote this went, nah, I don't think we've praised ourselves enough. People are going to start to think that we're the bad guys. The writer was like, how about we get an emotional monologue from Tim Cook himself, out of nowhere.
As you can see, we've innovated and retooled almost every part of our process to reduce our impact on the planet. But there's still a lot more work to do.
Then when I'm basically on the floor crying at how beautiful that monologue was, Apple employee 256 walks into frame to advertise some carbon neutral Apple Watches, whatever that means.
And there's something else we wanted to share with you.
Way to break the vibe, Apple employee 256.
You're not trying to bribe Mother Nature with Apple swag.
It's Apple's very first carbon neutral product.
They just throw the words carbon neutral around and hope it sticks. For all we know, it's just them saying, so guys, how do we feel about carbon? Neutral. Like it might not be environment related. Just saying. When I burn a candle, I'm technically generating more wax in my ear as I speak. It's kind of the same thing. That's carbon neutral, right? Apple would call that carbon neutral. They'd call anything carbon neutral. Apple are the type to force hundreds of children to mine precious materials for them their whole lives, but give them an iPad when they turn 90. Hey, we're giving back to those who helped us on our journey. Here's to being carbon neutral. Our customers don't know what carbon neutral means. They haven't even worked out that we've been selling them the same phone for 10 years. Then at the end, after Mother Nature sees the carbon neutral watches, she says,
I want to see you do more of this.
more of what? More of making Apple Watches with a clean font that says carbon neutral. If Mother Nature actually existed, she would tactically wipe out every Apple building and facility on Earth.
And then we'll move into BMW in Germany and blow that up as well.
She'd use tornadoes, tsunamis, light rain in California. She wouldn't take a day out of her busy calendar to go to some corporate meeting where she's lied to over and over again. Anyway, after Tim Apple tries to convince Mother Nature even more that they're an ethical company,
I want to see you do more of this.
You will.
When?
By 2030, all Apple devices will have a net zero climate impact.
All of them?
All of them.
They better.
They will.
they do this weird staring contest. Which just feels really off. It's like when they tried to do a joke earlier in the video.
When we're also currently using 100% recycled aluminum in the enclosures of all our MacBooks, Apple TVs, Apple Watch.
What about iPod Shuffle?
Well,
It's a joke. Don't you people make Ted Lasso?
Oh, that's a different group.
What was that? A joke that was so poorly timed that I struggled to find a place for it in this video. And Tim Cook can't even act properly, even when he's doing nothing. And at this point in time, he's just thinking,
I need to get her in another season of Apple's Truth Be Told.
like he's just thinking about dollar signs constantly. Anyway, after she looks into the depressing void, which is the Apple HQ, she just walks off.
See you next year. Don't disappoint your mother.
Probably to confront KFC on slaughtering 750 million chickens every year. I can just imagine how that would turn out. Mother Nature would be like, let me guess, you're still using plastic in your packaging? And then one of the employees goes, no, we stopped using plastic last year. And then Mother Nature's like, KFC? I was wrong about you. I can totally imagine all other big companies jump on this trend and all hire Octavia Spencer to do this exact same video. Shell would definitely do it. They'd be like, we almost started the prospect of possibly maybe cleaning up an oil spill in the Niger Delta, but We didn't. Then to be self-aware, a new tech startup do a parody of the sketch, just to stand out and be original. But instead they cast Schmoctavia Schmenzer to play Mother Nature.
Don't disappoint your mother.
Oh great, he just did the thing. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but he really did just go, whew. What is this year 7 drama acting? He might as well have just went,
Well, that just happened. Mother Nature be like.
Anyway, that was Apple trying to defend themselves from destroying the environment. Just invent a scenario that is so ridiculous that people just laugh with them instead of them taking accountability.
Mother Nature.
Don't get me wrong. It was funny, not for the high level production put into it, and definitely not the acting, but this. Overall, I think it was a wasted opportunity, dragging Miss Spencer from her most likely very full timetable, paying her with Apple pencils to do this weird environment film thing. Oh, you want to know how they could have done it better? I don't know. Here, drink some Nesquik. There we go. Anyway, Russell Brand. Whew.